Do you really need to live with that chronic illness for the rest of your life? We're going to be exploring that in these upcoming videos. Relief from Chronic Illness, which is my new Facebook group. I'll be sharing this video in this group and within YouTube. So it'll be two places daily. But within the Facebook group, Relief from Chronic Illness, I'll be holding some live Q&A sessions, answering your questions in there, hopefully give me some topics for discussion, and we'll just create this community that we're taking back our life. We're going to live life on our terms. We're going to go from this sick lifestyle to a joyful, thriving lifestyle. That is my goal for you. I'm not sure if everyone's going to get there or not, but isn't it at least worth the try, the effort to take that step and living the direction that we want to live? So in the mainstream media doesn't like my story. So my first book was published in 2014. I had a traditional book contract, the PR, and all of that. They had a very hard time getting media to listen to my story. Media loves feel-good stories, but my story was too good to be true for them. Who walks away from 38 years of suffering, of disability, into a healthy life? It doesn't add up in the mind. We're constantly told you're incurable, whether it's multiple sclerosis, bipolar, cancer, diabetes, migraines, whatever your chronic condition is, why is it incurable? Why do we believe that story, that it's incurable? So let me rewind a little bit about my story. My name is Baba Sam. Some call me the Miracle Man. So it began at age 6 for me when I was hit by a van. I nearly bled out. I had this head trauma, broken elbow, broken hip, nearly a year in the hospital. I was a mess. So then I was going through life as an undiagnosed bipolar. I was constantly sick, constantly seeing the doctor, because I really disliked being around other people. It made me very nervous, very subconscious. I wasn't feeling worthy or deserving of myself. So I was always constantly beating myself up. Then I was finally diagnosed bipolar in my 20s when I was suicidal. And at that time, I also had chronic migraines with the aura and all that stuff. I was a mess. 2 or 3 of those a week. And there was no real migraine medicine for that at that time when I was diagnosed. I had the neurologist at the teaching hospital, and they didn't really have much options for me. And they're seeing the top bipolar doctor at this teaching hospital. So people will hear my story and say, oh, you're misdiagnosed. No, I was seeing the best neurologists, the best doctors at this teaching hospital in Philadelphia. So I eventually had psoriasis on a third of my body, all this itchy skin rash. The psoriasis got into my joints, my left foot specifically. So I had this psoriatic arthritis, anxiety disorder, PTSD. I had all these issues that I don't have today. My doctors cannot explain me because it's not normal, if you will, to walk away from chronic illness. But why isn't it normal? Why isn't it just a temporary condition? So I'm going to explore that daily in these short videos, 5-10 minutes long each day. I'll create a video, and hopefully I'll see you in the group asking questions, give me ideas for videos to better support you. And we'll be holding those live Q&As and some other events within this group to help you out. And it's relief from chronic illness, because I believe everyone can find some relief from their chronic illness. And this will defy logic. Your mind won't be able to make sense of this. Last time I saw my neurologist for MS, he questioned me for 45 minutes trying to understand what I did. My scans were clean. My blood work was excellent. I didn't have any physical symptoms. He had no answers because it defies logic. The mind can't figure this out. It's about going deeper within us to find our true answers. And we'll be exploring that as we go forward. But this is just the kickoff video for today. I'm just curious to see what kind of questions that you have. And do you really need to live with an incurable condition for the rest of your life? Or is it just a temporary bump in the road? Only you know that answer, because you live in your body. Ultimately, it's up to you and your truth of how you move forward, and not relying on the knowledgeable ones 100% of the time. They're your guides, they're your advisors, but ultimately it's your choice, your decision, your way forward. And you can do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And I didn't have this very complicated, difficult process. I had this 5-minute daily practice. And that 5-minute daily practice changed everything for me. I was just basically learning to be in this moment. And that might not make sense to you. I was completely identified with my thoughts. I am bipolar, I have multiple sclerosis, I have psoriasis, I have arthritis, I have migraines. I owned my labels. And that was actually keeping me sicker and sicker. But I didn't know this. And like I said, I don't want to dive too deep today into some of these topics, some of these techniques, but just go on this ride with me as we dive into finding out our truth, that you live in your body, you know it the best. So let's dive into you, and I'll see you around the group. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be talking to you daily, sharing some insights, but just relax, take a breath, realize you're sitting, breathing, and that everything's going to be okay, that you can turn the ship around. I was sick for 38 years. I was taking 13 daily medications, a cane. I turned it around. I think everyone can turn it around, but ultimately that's your choice, your decision. It's also up to the constraints of the body as well. But let's dive into you and see what happens. All right, take good care of yourself. Talk soon.